This week on Wild Travels, we'll meet the magnificent mermaids of Weeki Wachee, Florida, watch the ice cream take an unplanned detour on the Ben & Jerry's production line, then pay a visit to their flavor graveyard, buy, sell, trade, and wear at the Sneaker Convention in Cleveland, marvel at the collection of art made entirely of bugs, and then ascend to the summit of one of the windiest places on Earth on the world's first cog railway. If you look hard enough, go off the beaten track far enough, you'll find an America teeming with the unusual, the odd, the downright strange. I'm Will Klinger, and I'm your guide on a package tour we like to call Wild Travels. Our special tour of the factory floor at Ben & Jerry's turned out to be as calamitous as it was informative. And then we cleansed our palate with a visit to their flavor graveyard, where the dearly departed go to die. Hey, Sean?
Oh,
How are you?
good to meet you.
Tell us where we are.
We're here at Ben & Jerry's. This is the Mecca where ice cream is made.
Where else would we be, for God's sake?
You know, one of the first delivery vehicles for Ben & Jerry's was a Volkswagen Squareback.
Would Ben or Jerry be driving?
That's how it started out. One drove, one made ice cream. We'll take a peek at this production floor. This is where we make every pint of Ben & Jerry's up until the late 80s was made right here in this building.
For the whole country.
For the whole country.
Jeez, oh Pete, that's a lot of ice cream.
Wow. We've got our 1,000-gallon blend tank, and then we make the mix there, and then bring it over through the flavor vats, and then send it over here to the production line.
So you only make one flavor a day?
That's correct.
So what's happening here is it's getting squirted into these cups, capped. What temperature is this at right now?
This ice cream's in like the 20-degree temperature right now. It is still kind of soft at this point, so it's easy for us to put in the package, add in the chunks so they stay distributed equally throughout it, and then we flip it upside down. It's more stable that way, then ship it down the conveyor belt here. 250 pints a minute.
And from here it goes to the freezer.
That's right. There is a spiral hardening freezer. It goes down to about minus 50. Flash freezes the ice cream. It prevents crystallization from happening. So there's very little ice crystals that form that way.
I hate that. So that's ice cream refuse, basically.
Yes, we call it pig waste because we used to give it to the guy that raised all the pigs up in Stowe.
This is the low-cost tour. If you get the cheap experience, this is the sample right here.
Oh, that's gross. Come on. What's happening, Mike?
They got backed up there, which caused the same effect down here, except it gets worse because it just backs up and bubbles over.
They're going fast! There's no control of them. Mike, how often does that happen? We had an overload there.
Yeah, we haven't. That was an overload. It does happen occasionally.
I felt like I was a huge help.
You were.
I was picking stuff off the floor.
You were a good help.
So Sean, the fact that these just hit the floor, they're perfectly good ice cream, but they're going to throw those out?
If something touches the floor, it's not food quality at that point.
Seems like an awful waste.
Maybe we should get you up here with a spoon and get started. Every other one will be tipped upside down. Because they're kind of triangular shaped, they pack together easiest that way.
I get it.
They're going to bundle them together in 8-packs and then put them on a pallet.
Willy Wonka, eat your heart out.
Right? It's like the Terminator of ice cream stack machines.
So guys, we're off the factory floor now. I should warn you that I think I dropped an old sock into the blender. You want to?
Don't even say that. That's not good.
Sean, we're heading towards the flavor graveyard.
Right, this is where all the Ben & Jerry's flavors have been retired throughout the years, any that are still not on shelves as an active flavor.
Whose idea was this?
You know, I'm going to throw it back to Ben. He was a guy who's always up for celebrating our failures, so we're like, this is the stuff that just didn't work for whatever reason.
What causes the unpopularity do you think? Just bad taste, I suppose.
Yeah, everybody likes something new, but sometimes the combinations you try, you think that would be a winner. The sugar plum over here behind me, it just doesn't work out. You tried caramel and plum, and it's just like, guys, it didn't work that time.
So there's a lot of trial and error, and sometimes it's error.
Yeah, undoubtedly, we've made our mistakes. Then this place up here is full of them.
I think sometimes the name could have sank up, like Tennessee Mud. Doesn't sound appealing.
You don't think mud sounds delicious?
Tennessee's fine. It's the mud. Turtle soup. See, that just doesn't sound right.
There were no turtles harmed in the making of turtle soup.
There were taste buds offended, I'm sure. What's the soonest something has gone south?
Well, you can look at some of these headstones. They all have dates on them for the flavor. Some are the same year it came out. It was retired.
Here's one that lasted only a year. Ms. Jelina's sweet potato pie.
Right, so you read the inscription, 1 potato, 2 potatoes, sweet potato pie. No one could appreciate it, so we had to let it die.
Do people show up here and maybe see one of their favorite flavors and leave something at the grave or anything?
Oh, it's not uncommon to come up and find people like, bowed down one knee, and you just check and like, hey, are you doing okay? And they're like, I just need a moment, please, just a moment with my flavor. So, look, there's flowers right over here next to peanut butter and jelly, and that was a terrible flavor.
Not for somebody.